What's going on? Welcome back to Normal Baseball. Today we are going to be continuing our 2023 Will Be Team Projection Series. Today we are doing the Kansas City Royals. Let's talk about them. What's going on? Welcome back to yet another episode of Normal Baseball. We are back with our Will Be series for the 2023 Major League Baseball season. Today, like it says on Lewis's ice cream helmet, we are doing the Kansas City Royals. Let's get into it. So the Royals last season came in fifth. Came in fifth place in the AL Central. With a record of 65 and 97, Mike Matheny leading them to that record.
Yeah.
I just read his name and I happened to say it out loud for whatever reason. I don't know.
I did think that was a little weird.
They fired their president of baseball operations this offseason. So there's that. And we're going to talk about them today. So we found them to be, we did a power ranking last week. And we graded every team from 1 to 10 in their lineup, bench, defense, rotation, bullpen, coaching, and energy. And we graded each one, and we totaled the scores. And the Royals, for our calculations, were the 25th best team in baseball, 13th best in the American League. So not great. And we're going to be talking about them
today. Yeah, that is what we're here to do. Kansas City Royals, baby.
So let's just get right into it. We'll start with, we're going to go in order and kind of break down our scores for each section and talk about them, talk about the team a little bit, how the team is built, and how we think they're going to pan out this season. So first we're going to talk about their lineup. The Kansas City Royals lineup, we gave them a 6.3 out of 10 heading into this season. I would just like to say before we talk about it a little more, all but one player on the projected starting lineup for the Kansas City Royals were drafted or signed originally by the Royals, which is insane.
Good for baseball.
But
good for baseball.
Yeah, good for baseball. They have rookie fever.
They do.
Last year, so many rookies played for this team, it was hard to even count. And same thing here with next year. What we'll see is that a lot of these guys don't have that much service time. They're either rookies or they were rookies last year. So I'm excited to watch this lineup. I will come out and say it right then and there. I'm excited to watch this lineup. Bobby Witt Jr., MJ Melendez, Vinny Pasquantino, Kyle Isbell, not Hunter Dozier, Mike Massey, Nate Eaton. There's just a lot of guys whose names you might not know, but they're ready. They're ready to make a name for themselves. So this lineup, first of all, we have Bobby Witt Jr., who will be their everyday shortstop this season. About time.
Thank God.
Should have happened a while ago. So I'm excited to watch Bobby Witt Jr. for another full season, see what he can do.
Yeah, he was really exciting had it not been for arguably the best rookie class that we've seen in quite some time, honestly, in the American League. If it had not been for that, then we would be talking about how he just won Rookie of the Year. Of course, I think he finished third behind Julio Rodriguez and Adley Rutschman, but don't let that deceive you. Bobby Witt Jr. is the real deal, and he is a great baseball player.
He finished fourth.
Finished fourth. I'm excited to watch him definitely grind out some at-bats. I think that he's going to be the... I'll just get right into it. I think he's going to make the biggest improvement jump out of anybody else on the Kansas City Royals this season.
I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. He is their star player.
And I love him. He is a great player.
Oh, I love him. He's great.
Yeah.
He came in fourth behind Julio, Adley, and Stephen Kwan.
Oh, yeah. Stephen Barry Bonds Kwan.
Stephen Barry Bonds Kwan.
Forgot about him.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to watch him progress and be better than he was last season. Now that he's actually playing shortstop, he's playing the position that he wants to be playing. We'll see. And not only that, but he has a lot of guys surrounding him that like are gonna be backing him up. He's gonna have guys hopefully to drive in. He's gonna be a good big part of this lineup all year.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I agree. And let's just break down the rest of the lineup. So, did you read it off already?
No.
So I'll go ahead and take care of it. They have MJ Melendez playing DH and batting first. Second, Bobby Witt Jr. at short. Catcher, they have Salvador Perez. First base and cleaning up, they have Vinny Pasquantino. Left field, they have Edward Olivares playing left field. At center field, they have Kyle Isbell. Third base, Hunter Dozier. Right? Dozier? That's how you say it? Dozier. My apologies. At second base, they have Michael Massey. And then in right field, they have Nate Eaton. And like Alex mentioned, everybody but one of their players in the starting lineup, on FanDraphs at least, has been drafted by the Kansas City Royals. So it's just good to see that the Royals were able to hit enough to find these diamonds in the rough type of guys that made it to the league and that we can at least say we're looking forward to watching. One of them being Bobby Witt, as we already covered, and my next one is MJ Melendez. I think that he is going to be just an absolute dog this season upcoming. They do have him DHing, and he would move to the outfield a little bit, depending on how Salvi is feeling, because he is, he's getting up there in age, and, the knees might not be there and everything like that. So, although MJ Melendez is most known for being a catcher, he right now has to move around and figure out where he's going to play because Salvador Perez is the catcher, and there's no question about it.
I disagree. I think Salvador Perez will be mostly DH this year. I think MJ Melendez, they're going to keep him behind the plate a lot because while Salvi is still here and playing, just teach him a little bit. Yeah. Because we know Salvi is not the best defensive catcher. He's not really that great defensively, and he can swing the bat. So as much as it pains me to say DH him a lot because he's only 32 years old, but I think he does need to probably be DH more often than not.
Yeah,
I think you got to get the young guy playing. You can't have the young guy DHing that much.
I agree with you. I've been really high on MJ Melendez ever since he made it to AAA. Like, that's when my eyes really started to notice that this guy was like a legit ball player, and he was somebody who deserved to get run at the major league level. And he got a good amount of time last season, but I think he'll be an opening day starter for sure. It's just a matter of what position, because he is very versatile. He could play catcher, he could DH, he could play any of the outfield spots if he really needed to. And honestly, don't be surprised if he could play first base too.
Yeah, first base is kind of the
run of the mill for catchers.
Catcher can also play first base because they're a brick wall. They don't let balls get past. But they do have Vinny Pasquantino set in to play first. And I think he's going to play some good first, and I think he's going to swing the bat really well. Vinny Pasquantino is another guy to look forward to. The Italian stallion, Vinny Pasquantino. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot of guys in this lineup. It's hard for me to talk about some of them because, just either I've never heard of them or just never heard of them. Don't really know what their game is. Like Michael Massey, I'd love to know who he was. I wish I watched more Royals games last season to know who he was. That's my fault for not really watching that many Royals games.
Believe it or not, I did not watch that many either.
Yeah, and
I did watch a lot of Bobby Witt Jr. highlights, though.
And Nate Eaton, I also don't really know much about him. So everyone else I kind of know decently. I just find it crazy that, like I said, 8 out of the 9 guys in this projected lineup that we said are either signed or originally signed by the Royals.
Yeah.
Which is something you don't see too much. And not only that, but every single one of these guys wasn't picked up. Well, I feel like that's kind of doy, but they were not picked up this year. Like, they weren't free agents. They weren't traded for nothing. They had every single one of these guys last season.
Yeah.
Same thing with their bench not same thing, but almost same thing with their bench that we'll talk about now.
And I mean, I must just harp one more time that if these guys like Bobby Witt Jr., MJ Melendez, and Vinny Pasquantino, like these guys who we know as rookies, basically, as guys who have not had major time spent up in the show, I think that Michael Massey and Nate Eaton if the Royals know how to develop players, then I think that they should be okay.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Pretty good at developing players.
So I'm going to say, could we just say it right now, that I think that this lineup looks good. And I think that their 6.3 rating might even be a little bit lower come when we maybe revisit this down the line.
Yeah, maybe.
I think this is the first team that I can confidently say that that number could go higher, depending on what happens this season.
Maybe.
You know what? Michael Massey's going to be a 300 hitter.
You know what? Shut up.
Anyways, to the bench.
Next, we got the bench. We gave it a 6.2 out of 10. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Their bench is looking like catcher Freddie Fermin, infielder Nicky Lopez, infield outfielder, so utility, Samad Taylor, and Franmil Reyes, who is more of a DH. So he is a non-roster invitee to spring training.
Nicky Lopez makes this bench look a lot more appetizing.
And Franmil.
Yeah. If
those two guys make this bench.
If he can get the hits like how we used to know him to hit a couple of years ago, but definitely
that was me agreeing.
Nicky Lopez is what makes this bench jump up in the numbers category at a 6.2. So that's where I look at it from. What about you? What do you think about the bench?
I think it is very much carried by Nicky Lopez and Franmil Reyes. I think what did it for me mostly is Franmil Reyes. If he can have the power that we know he can have, not kind of play like last year. I believe last year he did not have a great year. Obviously, now he's a non-roster invitee to spring training. He couldn't possibly have had an amazing year. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm high on Franmil. And Nicky Lopez, too, because he went from being a starter last season to now on the bench. So I think that's kind of what does it for me. I'm not too well-versed in Freddie Fermin.
Believe it or not, neither am I.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. And Samad Taylor, don't even
get me started. He has zero service time, so I don't know how I would be very well-versed in him at all. As far as injuries go, outfielder Drew Waters had a strained oblique just recently on the 19th of February. So he'll probably be out for a couple weeks, but he might be back. And if he comes back and they put him in left field, every single member of the Royals lineup would be drafted or signed by them originally.
That's pretty cool.
That is wild. And if they could actually start playing good, that would be even crazier.
Yeah, agreed.
Moving over to their pitching, which
yikes.
Their rotation or defense first. Defense first will do. We gave it a 6.7 out of 10. We gave them a very good defensive rating considering they have a horrible defensive catcher in Salvador Perez.
Yeah, I think that's still fair. Bobby Wood Jr. is a great defender. Vinny Pasquantino's young, so I can imagine that he can play well over at first. Hunter Dozier locking down third base. I think that there's no need to really worry. And the outfield, it looks like they're ready to play Royal Ball again. Which, if anybody knows how Royal Ball is played, you put speedy outfielders in the outfield and you just let them flag down every fly ball. So that's a big portion of it, and I think that this outfield genuinely looks like they could do that. Could.
Not definite. But yeah, we'll see. Defense is there.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm a big advocate of it.
Next up now we have their rotation. Out of 10, we gave their rotation a 6.4, which I think they have a good underrated rotation. Zach Greinke, who was the only free agent to leave this team, and he came right back, so they lost no free agents this year. Zach Greinke, Jordan Lyles, who they got from Baltimore. Well, he was on the Baltimore Orioles. They signed him in free agency. Brady Singer, Ryan Yarbrough, who was a free agent, and Brad Keller. So I think Yarbrough is really what makes this rotation look so much better to me. Yarbrough, it was such an underrated player last year.
Good pitcher,
very underrated. So that's kind of what makes me like this rotation even more. And there's always Zach Greinke, who How no matter what his numbers are, how could you not love Zach Greinke?
Yeah.
So
I don't get. I mean, hats off to you, Zach Greinke. You can still be pitching at age 39, where your numbers still looked serviceable. But I mean, proving a lot of people wrong who were saying that after Houston he was done for.
Justin Verlander's 39.
Yeah.
He's still going.
Well, very different caliber of pitcher. Very different. Let that be known. Not to say that Zach Greinke is not a great pitcher.
No, I'm not trying to compare. I'm not trying to say that he's as good as Justin Verlander. I'm just saying age-wise, like a 39-year-old can still
age.
pitch. It's not like they're once you become 30.
Yeah,
once
fall
you
off a
become
cliff.
37, like
Yeah,
your
your arm
arms
falls off.
fall off. Yeah, it's like it's not
but
outlandish
I
to say.
think it's good just to see that he's proving people wrong. Let it be known also, Zach Greinke is one of the funniest people in baseball, and completely unironically. I mean, yes, last year he was also on the Royals, who were not in the playoffs. So what did he do after the regular season ended? He went to every home Mariners playoff game, which was just really cool.
Well, there were only two.
There was only two of them,
Or
but
no.
he was there.
There was only one.
Only one? No, they played two, and then Jordan walked them off. No, maybe it was only one. But anyways, Zach Greinke went to...
It was the 18-inning game.
Yeah, the 18-inning game. He was there. He sat right behind home plate, like just in like a normal seat, and nobody
crazy.
really
He's
noticed
insane.
him.
He's
He was
insane.
with like his family. Just such a cool guy, and I'm just happy to see that he's still maintaining the pitching excellence that we've come to know him as.
I love Greinke. I absolutely love Greinke.
Yeah.
What was that for?
You keep looking above me, and it looks really weird.
I'm not like looking at it. I'm just like that. I'm just listening and thinking. I'm just looking. But yeah, no, I think it's an underrated rotation.
Yeah.
But that's why we gave it a 6. Like it's nothing crazy. Like we said, Zach Greinke's old. Jordan Lyles has something to prove. Brady Singer is very good, but I don't think it's being noticed yet that much. And then Brad Keller kind of just exists. But yeah, that's why we gave it a 6.4. Oh, we gave it a 6.4.
We did.
Their bullpen's a little bit of a different story. Little bit of a different story. We gave it a 5.1 out of 10.
They're lucky.
They have Aroldis Chapman and Amir Garrett. That's all that really needs to be said. You got Scott Barlow, Dylan Coleman, Taylor Clark, Josh Staumont, Josh Taylor, and Carlos Hernandez.
And Scott Barlow, I think, is extremely, criminally, if you will, underrated.
He is. Scott Barlow's really good.
When it comes to the bullpen of Major League Baseball teams, Scott Barlow being the closer, is at least what Fangraph says Scott Barlow will be the closer, is not a bad situation to be in. Now, will he have many closing opportunities when Amir Garrett and Aroldis Chapman are coming in before him? Probably not.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a difficult spot because Aroldis Chapman has something to prove. Will he put in the effort?
No.
We talked about this when he got signed. Will he put in the effort? Depends.
He's on the Royals.
He could surprise us.
He's not putting in any effort.
We'll see. But Aroldis Chapman, yes, 35-year-old Aroldis Chapman doesn't show up to practice. Aroldis Chapman is a Royal. And Amir Garrett, Amir Garrett loves making as much controversy as possible. So I believe those two in the same bullpen will be a fun time, to say the very least.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. I like that statement.
So that's their bullpen. We gave it a 5.1. Just there's nothing that shines about it. But there are a couple like notable arms in there. Like we said, Scott Barlow. And even Dylan Coleman, I think, is pretty good. So, yeah. Taylor Clark can be good.
It's a solid bullpen if you're just looking at the names and not really thinking about what every pitcher has done so far in their MLB career.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the way that I would like to phrase it.
Okay. As far as their coaching goes, we gave them a 6.1. Again, this is their coaching, not their president of baseball operations who they fired. But, they got a lot of young guys. Some of them are developing pretty well.
Yeah.
They played pretty good at points last season, so...
They must be doing something right.
They're doing something right. They are pretty good with developing some talents. And Mike Matheny is not the best manager, but he's not the worst, I don't think, in baseball, so... Yeah. What are we looking up?
Didn't they sign a new one?
Manager?
Yeah.
New manager?
Matt
Well, maybe they did.
Oh
boy.
Quanterino? Fuck. But, yeah.
Now I need to look up how to pronounce it. Who's their manager?
Matt.
Royals manager. Oh, Matt Quattaro. Quattaro. So I'm so sorry for mispronouncing that. Why did I not even? I feel like I knew they fired Mike Matheny, but like,
Yeah,
that's my fault.
That's
That's my fault. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. Either way, still, we don't really know how he's going to be as a coach. He's been a coach before, I believe. I'm pretty sure we looked it up when we did the rankings.
This is his first time being at the major league level.
Yeah, he's been a coach, but not for a major league team.
And any coaching job that he's had at a major league level has been like, assistant to the hitting coach or assistant to the bench coach or something like that. Like, he's never had full control, having the reins and knowing where he wants to take this organization and this team. Which I think that with all of his past experience, and he's still on the younger side, he's I think 49 years old, I think we're going to see an interesting dilemma where he still is able to have fun and entertain the younger guys on this team who otherwise would be bummed out because they're playing on the Kansas City Royals for 162 games.
Yeah, the Royals. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, clap it up for them.
I would like to say, I'll clap it up for the Royals a little bit.
Woo! Anyways, yeah, the Royals, I like them. I think that the coaching situation is going to be the one that we have to look out for. It'll be fun.
That was terrifying, by the way.
So, we finished out the Royals, if you're doing the math at home.
Well, we have to get to energy as well.
We didn't do that, yeah.
So, the energy we gave the Royals, out of 10, we gave them a 4.9. I honestly want to put it up a little bit, but I feel like their pitching brings it. Like, they have no energy in the pitching department.
Zach Greinke, if you think Zach Greinke is bringing positive energy, or any energy at all, I think is the way that I should put it, you're out of your mind.
I feel like the rookies in the lineup will have energy, but yeah, like you said, the pitching, not much energy there. You got Aroldis Chapman, who he'll be sweating.
Yeah.
If this was based on sweat, Aroldis Chapman is through the roof. So,
and let it be known that I'm going to say right now that Bobby Witt Jr. walk-off double on opening day is going to be electric.
Yep.
Do they even play at home on opening day?
Probably.
I hope so.
Let's find out. Let's find out.
The first home game though, book it. Bobby Witt Jr. walk-off double.
Yes, they do. No.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh. Bobby Witt Jr. walk-off double on opening day for the Royals and Kauffman Stadium. How's that?
That works.
Yeah.
March 30th. They are at home.
Good.
Against the Twins. So, opening day walk-off double for Bobby Witt Jr.
For Bobby Witt Jr. Yeah. Okay. That'll be cool. That'll be pretty cool to watch.
So now you can do if you're counting at home stuff.
Yeah. So, if, like I said earlier, if you're counting at home and you wanted to know what we gave them total out of 70, we gave them a 41.7, which brings them to 25th on our power rankings and 13th in the American League. Nothing really crazy. I definitely don't think that this is one of those teams that can fluctuate that much. I don't really see there being a lot of upside or downside. I think that they're good right where they are. As for other things, can I get into my rookies now?
Yeah, rookie report.
Rookie report or, young guys just to keep an eye on. So, one guy is Drew Waiters, who I personally like. He's ranked 7th in the Kansas City Royals system.
I believe it's Waters.
Yeah, Waters. Ooh, sorry. Drew Waters. But he's ranked 7th in the system of the Kansas City Royals. He's pretty solid. He's nothing that is generational. Not yet. I would love to see him prove me wrong.
Injured for now.
I'm sorry?
He has an oblique injury right now.
Oh.
But he'll probably be back by opening day.
Last year, on 3 different levels of A-ball, going from high A-ball to double A to triple A, he batted .269, having an .805 OPS in 83 games. A little bit, kept his strikeouts lower than what it had been before, but still over 100 strikeouts at 101, which is interesting, and only 13 home runs. So he does bring a solid contact bat to the Royals organization, and hopefully we will see him get called up this year to play some outfield.
I hope so too. Sorry, I was writing a little thing down.
Yeah.
Drew
Reminder.
Waters, yeah. I agree.
Switch hitter.
Like I
Switch
said,
hitter.
switch hitter, plays the outfield. Like I said, he does have that strained oblique right now. Don't know how long that'll sideline him, but I believe he was in the majors last season though.
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
He was in the majors last season, played 32 games, 109 plate appearances, had 5 homers, 18 RBIs, batted .240. So
Yeah, that's
I
eighth in Rookie of the Year voting to me.
I assume when he gets healthy, he'll probably be in the line, either in the lineup or on the bench for the Royals on opening day.
I hope so. But yeah, Drew Waters. Look forward to watching him play this year.
Me as well. Let's get to our MVPs, team MVPs. We'll do an MVP hitter and an MVP pitcher. Who is your MVP hitter for the Royals in 2023?
You know what, Alex? I would love for you to go first.
I'll go first. Okay. Sounds like a fantastic plan. I'm going to go with Vinny Pasquantino.
All right. Good.
Nah, yeah.
You already went with him.
I know, that's fine. That's fine. I like Vinny Pasquantino.
As for me, I'm going to go with Bobby Witt Jr. Kind of chalk, but, I mean, the guy has more than enough talent and more than enough skill to prove to us that he is everything that we believe him to be and more.
Okay. MVP pitcher, who you got? You want me to go first again?
No,
I'll go first again.
I want to go first.
I'll go first. So I'm going to say Ryan Yarbrough. I think criminally underrated. Let him be a starter all year. He'll prove a lot of people wrong. Who you got?
I got Jordan Lyles. I think he's going to be pretty solid, especially coming in from the Baltimore Orioles. I see no reason as to why.
Jordan Lyles, you think he's going to be the best pitcher on this team?
I think he'll be pretty good, and that's who I'm most looking forward to watching pitch.
So you think he'll be the best pitcher on the Royals?
Sure. Does that make you feel better?
Well, that's why I said MVP on the MVP pitcher.
Yeah.
Most valuable pitcher.
Yes.
Okay.
Jordan
Fair.
Lyles.
I'm actually going to wild card Aroldis Chapman, MVP of the league.
Get the fuck out.
But yeah, that's our will be on the Royals. Now, I will say the 2023 Royals will be, and Lewis will tell me what place in the division he thinks they will be in. Lewis, the 2023 Kansas City Royals will be in...
First place. No, they will be in 5th place.
I disagree. I think 4th. I have them above the Tigers.
I do.
But yeah, I knew you were going to say that when you put the Tigers 4th place. I mean, when you put the Tigers 4th place, yeah. They had to be 5th. So, okay. That's fair. So that'll be it. Thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing, sharing, subscribing, commenting, following the podcast, following on socials.
And being a Royals fan.
Let's go Royals.
Let's go Royals.
Let's go Royals.
Let's go Royals.
And we will see you.
Oh, please don't knock down the shelf.
We will see you guys next time. Peace.